You ever have a really hard time just staying inspired? Me too. Let's talk about that. As a dad working in the creative space, staying inspired does not always come super easy. One of the hardest things I deal with is staying inspired when time and energy are running super low. Between juggling work, family, and freelancing gigs, you gotta find time in there to be creative and be inspired. I've found that there are a few ways that I stay inspired. Here are 5 tips that help me out when I'm feeling this way. The first thing that you gotta do is start small. Jot down a few ideas, create some rough sketches, do whatever you need to do to make small incremental steps forward on your project. Having a big daunting project while trying to manage all these different things is gonna feel super impossible, but breaking it down into individual steps and creating small wins along the way is definitely gonna be the way to get you through it. Another thing to do is to use your daily life as inspiration. Household chores, mundane tasks, or interesting scenes on your commute into work. Personally, I work out as much as possible whenever I can fit it in, typically in the morning, to jumpstart my creativity and make sure that I get what I need to get done during the day. Something else that I try to do, typically in the mornings, schedule some time for creative play. That's testing new plugins, trying out new tools in Illustrator, or doing whatever else. No boundaries and no limits, and no creative boxes that you're put into. I try to do this in the morning for just 15 minutes, just so I can get it out of my system, get my gears turning, and move on to the work that I have for the day. Something else that I've been trying to experiment with is 3D modeling, and so that's the 4th thing, is try to learn something new. One of my favorite ways to break out of a creative rut is to do this. Learn something new, and a lot of times I've found is that it takes time to get really, really good at something. It took me 4 years before I even felt super comfortable using After Effects. You're not gonna be great at learning something new immediately. So I'm not great at 3D modeling still, but I keep dedicating time to it, keep pushing forward and getting better at it so that I can add it to my portfolio, add it to my repertoire, add it to my skill set so that I can use it for future projects. So try to learn something new to get out of your creative rut. And the last thing that I want to talk about is something that is maybe a little bit of a sore spot for some people. Try to get enough rest. I know that everyone has a different time when they're most creative, and that can be challenging with young kids especially, and if a newborn even more so, if they're not on a schedule yet. And something that I ran into when my daughter was born was finding that time to still be creative and get enough sleep and take care of myself and do the things that I wanted to do, spend time with my family, all the things. It was really hard to do a lot of it, and so there were some areas that lacked. One area that needs to not lack is rest and sleep. Make sure to get enough sleep, at least 7 hours a day. I know that might be a lot to ask for some people, and some people that might be way too little, but you know yourself best. And if your creative time, your boost of creativity comes at 11 p.m., then by all means, take a nap during the day if you can, or a nap when your child is napping. But try to find enough time to still be creative and get enough rest. I can't stress that enough. It'll help you out everywhere else in life. These are the things that I do when I'm trying to stay inspired, even when I'm stretched super thin. Let me know what you do to stay creative when things get kind of rough. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on how to balance creativity, work, and family life, and keeping it all together. I'll see you next time.